5 o'clock on a Wednesday, and it's time for
Craig and Ryland's Magic Review Show.
I'm Craig.
I'm Ryland.
Welcome back to another review show, bumper review show this week. 5 different things that we're reviewing. It's a 5-trick review show. So first of all, thank you so much for joining us. Please make sure you subscribe if you haven't already done so. Yeah. Every single week we look at the latest and greatest magic tricks and we give you our honest opinion.
Or have we got 5?
We got 5 this week.
4 or 5.
Can't you count? We got 5.
Oh, didn't you do 2?
I did
what
3.
Else did you
Look,
do?
you'll see it. Yeah, exactly. So we're going to start off this week with a new trick from Penguin Magic. This is from the creator of the year, 2021, Penguin Magic's creator of the year, a person who's also on the net tricks and somebody who I think is one of the best magicians in the world. It is, of course, Kyle Purnell, and we're going to be looking at his brand new brainchild right now. So first up, we have Brainchild by Kyle Purnell. A little bit disappointed. You know why? It's Penguin Magic. It's P3. Where's the fancy packaging? Where is the fancy Penguin Magic packaging? The little boxes with the magnets in it that go ka-ching. Where is that? What we have is a box. Penguin, sort yourself out. I'm sorry. You have standards to uphold right now. If I was Kyle, I'd be complaining. I'd be going to Penguin Magic and saying, hang on a minute, I'm creator of the year. Do you know who I am? I'd be walking into their head office. Do you know who I am? I am creator of the year. You got this trick coming out with fancy boxes. You got that trick coming out with fancy boxes. I've got a cardboard box. That's what I've got. I've got a card. This is not good enough. I'd complain. I would. Anyway, if you can look past the terrible packaging, Penguin, if you can look past the terrible packaging.
I was thinking that.
What we have here is we have what is, in my opinion, one of the best any card at any numbers. I suppose it's an any card at any number that I've ever seen. I'm going to do a full performance and then we're going to talk about what we think. Okay, right, I'm going to do a card trick here, but it's not a card trick. Although it uses a pack of cards, this is not a card trick.
It's still a card trick. Was you using a pack of cards?
No, but I'm not going to have someone pick a card. It's not that sort of thing. I'm not going to have someone pick a card. I'm going to have your mom think of a card as they go past. So it's not a card trick. It's completely different. You'll see what I mean. Okay. Sarah, I'm going to go through the cards like this. She's behind the camera, your mom. I'm going to go through the cards, and as I do, as I go past, can you just think of one of these cards? Yeah. Don't tell me, just think of one of them. Think of any one of these cards. Don't tell me, but just think. Have you got a card?
Yeah.
Fantastic. There's no way I could know what that card is. It's a completely random card, but somewhere in this deck is a card that your mom is merely thinking of. So here we go. Trying to work out what your mom's card is. First of all, Sarah, I want to concentrate on the colour of the card. Mm-hmm. Sarah, is your card a red card?
Yes.
See? It's amazing. I'm a mind reader.
It's 50-50 chance, really.
It is a 50-50 chance, but no. I knew it was a red card. It wasn't like I was being ambiguous or anything. I genuinely knew it was a red card. And think about this, right? She could have thought of any card. She could have thought of any one of these cards, and yet I said, boom, straight there, your card's a red card. I'm going to go one step further. We're going to try and find your card using numerology, Sarah. So let's try and do this. Normally at this point, I would ask you to think of the month that you're born. So I tell you what, instead, I know the month you're born, obviously. So instead, your nan, who's no longer with us, your nan, your gran, your nan, think of her month of birth. What's the month? What's the month?
I know that.
What's the month that you
January.
January. So that's 1. So we'll deal a 1. Secondly, I want you to think of your nan's full name, including any middle names, because I know your middle names and I know your full name, and count how many letters there are in your nan's full name, including middle names, and tell me how many letters there are.
10.
10. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we'll do one final one. Let's think of something really random. Your sister's, your sister's month of birth. Mm-hmm. Pick one of them. Which month?
February.
So that's 1, 2. Are you happy with that? Mm-hmm. Now, I could have done some Facebook stalking on you. I might have known about that. I might have done some research.
You're hopeless with birthdays. You wouldn't know that at all.
I might have done. As I went by the other way, did you see your card go past? Did you? No. Were you watching? Did you see your card go past at any point?
No.
You didn't see your card. Okay, this is good. We'll do one last number, and the final number, the very final number is. We'll make it a number that you didn't even know until a few minutes ago. I asked you to think of a card.
Yeah.
What was the value of that card?
10.
10. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm just going to turn the cards towards me because you'll see in the 10th position there's a card right there. One card and one card only in the 10th position. Now think about this. You just thought of a card.
Yeah.
You didn't tell anybody. Not only did you just think of a card, you didn't write it down. You didn't say, okay, I've got one. Nothing like that. You then came up with a whole bunch of random numbers and we arrived at this position. You thought I was guessing when I said red. So we've arrived at one position. For the first time, what was the name of your card?
10 of diamonds.
I think I nailed that. What do you reckon? Right there, the 10 of... Now, think about this. If your nan's name was Irene van Splatserhosen, that would be so much more dealing. Can you imagine if it was Irene van Splatserhosen, there would be way more dealing involved. There's no way, absolutely no way at all that I could have known this, right? I mean, there's literally no way. But here's the interesting thing. Do you know what's really interesting about this? Because there's something interesting that you probably haven't even considered. I'm going to tell you what that is. This card here, the 7 of Hearts, you didn't think of that. Now, you could have thought the 7 of Hearts, couldn't you? You could have thought the 7 of Hearts. You could have thought the 7 of Spades. You could have thought of the 4. You could have thought of any of these. You could have thought of any of these. You could have thought of any of these. But Sarah, you didn't. You thought of the 10 of Diamonds and you had a free choice. And do you know why that's so weird?
Why?
It's so weird because that 10 of Diamonds, turn it over for me, right? That 10 of Diamonds is the only one in the pack with a red back. All these other cards have a blue back. They're all examinable. The only card with a red back in this entire deck is the one you thought of, the 10 of Diamonds, which was in the position that you named. So, while you were watching that performance, Ryland turned round to me and said, hang on, Dad, how is this in any card at any number?
Where do they say the number?
Think about it. They think of a card, right?
Yeah.
And then once they've thought of a card, you shuffle them and you mix them up.
Yeah.
And then you ask them to
Oh, yeah.
say different stuff. Like you say to them, hey, what's the birth month?
Oh, yeah.
Add your letters of your name together. Now, in all honesty, if you want to, you could just say, give me a number. And you could just deal to that number. But I actually like the presentational point of asking people different questions and dealing down to that number. Because what it does is it makes it feel even more random. It makes it feel even more personalised because you can't name any number. You can't name any number. You can come close to naming any number. It's a bit like the quantum deck. You can't name any number. However,
52.
You can't name 52. However, by asking people, hey, what's your birth month? What's the month you were born? What's the, what's your full, how many letters in your full name and questions like that? It feels even more random than just asking for an arbitrary number. But technically, this isn't any card at any number. Now, plus points. The tutorial is fantastic. Kyle goes through this with a fine-tooth comb. There's a sleight of hand version and there's a version that requires no sleight of hand. Kyle covers absolutely everything, so that's a massive plus point. Secondly, everything can be examined at the end once you do one little move. However, if you don't want to do the move, there's a way of doing it so that it feels like it can be examined, but it can't. However, I've done this to Matt in the office, and even though Matt is so suspicious of everything I do, he didn't even want to examine the cards. And I think that's because of this is so clean, because of the displays and the routining and the way that Kyle's actually created it feels so clean. That's a massive plus point. It can be done in the real world because it's pretty much an instant reset. No table is required. It's nice to have a table, but no table is required. That's another plus point. But the big plus point for me is they can freely think of any card. That is what I love, because you just say to them, look at a card and remember it. Have you got one? Good, let's move on. It doesn't, it feels so fair when you say that, you know what I mean? I really like that moment, I really do. You've got the card that appears at the number that they generate, and then at the end, it's the only one with a red back. What do you think of this? I absolutely love this. Now, the one negative, which I know a lot of people have talked about on places like the Magic Cafe, other than the packaging. The one negative is there is a moment in the routine where you have to do a move. There is a move that needs to be done. And it's a move that requires sleight of hand, or Kyle goes through a non-sleight of hand version to do this move. However, the move does need to be done. And I know some people have said, oh, it needs to be done at just the wrong time, and therefore it's not a great trick because that move needs to be done. I completely and totally disagree. The misdirection of this trick is so well thought out. Nobody is even suspecting that anything's happening at that point. It's also random. You're having them name numbers, add up the letters in your name. Let's deal to that. Everything. Can you see your card? And just while all that's happening, the move's done, and it just blows over everyone's head. I've done this a few times now in the real world, and it always gets a really good reaction, and it flies over people's heads. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's not a James Bond style gimmick. And what I mean by that is, and I don't know what you think about this, sometimes magicians like toys, don't they? They just love opening up a trick and, oh my gosh, it's got buttons and it does this and look at this and oh, this is so cool. There's no toy factor to this. It's a deck of cards. You'll open it up like everybody does and you'll look through and you'll look for the gimmick and you go, oh, okay, don't really see what is there. And then you'll watch the tutorial and you'll think it's really clever, but there's no toy factor. However, what we have here, in my opinion, is a commercial working routine that if you take it into the real world, you'll freak people out with it.
But then...
And there's live performances like with all Penguin products, and you see Kyle doing it in the real world, freaking people out. Now, what's your opinion, right?
Yeah, I really like it.
Do you really like it?
Yeah.
Would you do it?
Yes.
You can be honest. If you don't think you're going to do it, because she gave me the kind of like look before you said yes. If you don't
I was thinking.
You're thinking.
Yeah.
Would you do it?
Yeah.
Do you think it's better than most of the other any card at any numbers out there?
No.
You don't know?
Yeah, no. Just over the middle.
Just over the middle. I really like it. I think the fact that it's a different coloured back. I mean, think about it from a methodology point of view. They think of a card.
Oh, yeah. I got it. Oh, yeah.
They think of a card, any card.
All blue.
It's the only one in the pack that's got a red back, which on its own is mad. But then as well as being the only one in the pack that's got a red back, it's at the number that they pick, and everything's examinable at the end. Like, it hits all the boxes, in my opinion. I think it's really, really good. I know you like it, but I think I'm going to give it a higher mark than you, probably. I'm going to give this 96%. I think this is
I
brilliant.
was going to give this 97.
97, oh my gosh. Okay. You really like it. Okay, I didn't think you liked it as much as that. Brilliant. So 97% from Ryland, 96% from me.
It was over. Just over.
Just over, yeah. It's really good. We're now going to move into the next review. Okay, so for the next trick, Sirus presents D.I.E. D.I.E. And this is a really interesting concept. I'm going to get Ryland to perform it for a minute. And this is a routine with a dice or a die. And yeah, I'm not going to tell you anything else. Let's have a look at the performance and then we'll talk through what we think.
Okay, so here I have a pack of cards here.
I thought it was a banana.
Obviously, it's not a banana.
Well, I don't know. Could have been a banana.
You really think that pack of cards is going to be...
No, it's a pack of cards. I can see that. I'm joking.
Okay, so all there, all different.
Yeah, I see that.
All red back.
Yes, I see that as well.
All
I'm happy.
Away.
Mm-hmm.
You happy?
Mm-hmm.
You're actually happy?
I'm very happy.
Good. Okay, so what we're going to do is I want you to roll the dice.
Roll the
times.
dice. 3 times.
Yeah. First one.
So a 5.
5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again.
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
A 1.
A 1. Okay, so maybe you don't actually feel happy with me doing the dealing.
Well, you are a sneaky little sausage.
Fine, you deal then. 5,
Deal.
5, 1.
5, 5, 1. That's 11.
10, yeah. What did I say? 5, 5, 10, 1, 11.
11, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
11.
You're confusing me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Okay, so this we have here.
Yeah?
Nobody can know what this card is.
Nobody.
You've done the dealing.
I did the dealing.
You did the rolling.
I did the rolling. I did the dealing.
And
I did everything.
This card is the 7 of hearts.
The 7 of hearts. Okay, yeah.
Okay, now what I didn't tell you is this dice, did you feel it was paper?
Yes, it's cardboardy type stuff. Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you why?
Why? You're too cheap to buy real dice.
No.
No?
Because in here, I didn't tell you, but it actually folds out.
No way.
There's 7 of hearts.
Oh my golly.
I know.
Look at that. 7 of hearts.
So
That's
I'm
pretty-
gonna fold it back up again.
Are you?
Yes. Pretty easy once you know how to do it. It's hard once you don't know, but when you know, it's easy. Okay, so you just
You
go
seem
like
to be a master of origami.
So you just go like that. So you
Okay.
put the first part in. And then you get the second part. And then you put that in.
See, not just a magic trick, but also a lesson in folding up pieces of paper into dice. Very exciting.
Okay,
It's
so
like a
there.
2 for 1.
Okay, so we're going to put this back in. And what I want you to do is I want you to cut the cards and mark that. Cuts.
So cut the cards anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere.
What do you mean mark the card?
As in like.
I'll put that.
Sideways.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so we've had this dice the whole time.
Mhm.
Let's see what cards you ended up with right there.
Okay. This one.
Yeah.
The 2 of
Okay,
clubs.
so you got the 2 of clubs.
Mhm.
Watch this.
I don't know what you did.
You just changed it back to the 7 of hearts. There we go. That's
Okay, bring it out. I'm joking. What? No way. That's amazing, Ryland. Good stuff, that man.
Yes.
So, Die, what do you think about it? Obviously, you've learnt it. I haven't really asked your opinion yet. I'd like to know what you think. I'd really like to know what you think. We've not discussed
you
this before.
almost wrote the first one.
Well, bro, yeah, I almost
It's
wrote it.
cardboard.
Yeah, it is cardboard. So the dice are made out of cardboard. That's a good point. So you need to be careful with them. It's also very difficult. The reason Ryland did this and not me is because I was trying to learn how to fold the dice up. Because obviously
And
it's a
you
special
couldn't.
card and you fold it up in order to make it look like a dice. I was trying to follow the instructions and I just really struggled, and I think it's because I've got big hands or something, I don't know. Ryland looked at it and immediately he was like, oh, I can do this, no problem. So that's just a me thing, I think, but you need to be very careful. I almost broke one of the cards when I was folding up a dice. Ryland
Would
could,
you crease it? in
yeah,
the place?
Ryland could do it easily, straight away. Me, not so much. So you do need to look after these cardboard dice. But, I mean, I like the idea of a dice being used in the trick, and you open it up, and when you open it up, it turns into the card that they've picked. I like that. What I'm not too keen on, where's the red deck that you were using? You got the red deck.
There.
What I wasn't, can you pass it for me? What I wasn't too keen on, in all honesty, I wasn't too keen on the way that they actually got to the selection procedure for the card. And I get that the dice has to be used, and this is my thing here. So I get that the dice has to be used because the trick basically is you've got this dice, they're rolling it a few times, they're using that number, they're rolling it 3 times, they use that number to get to a card, and the dice is opened up and it matches the card. And then obviously in the second phase you get another card picked and the dice changes. I absolutely get that. However, I thought that the method, which is, oh, what's that? That's number 2. What's that? That's number 3. Okay, what's that? That's number 6. Right, okay. But maybe you think that I'm cheating, so I'll tell you what, you take them and you deal it. I just think that's a little bit hokey. I really, really, really am not too keen on that. I think that it could have been better if
I was
the
thinking that, I'm
routining...
like, well, if that's going there, it's going to go to the bottom. Well, to that position.
Yeah, I mean, what that is that's based on the old countdown force. What we have there is the old countdown force. However, I think the countdown force works better when you just have a number named. So it's like, oh, 12. Okay, I'm going to get you to deal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But if in case you think I've cheated, you deal. That's the countdown force. The problem here is I think that becomes less deceptive when you're dealing 3 different numbers and then you're putting it back and you're telling them to add the numbers up. I think that's not very good. I think that there would be much better ways to do that. Like, I haven't given it much thought because I don't plan on doing this routine. But for example, doing a version of the timing force, but with a number. So let's say you roll a dice. What number's on the dice? So let's say I wanted to force the 3 of spades. What number's on the dice? What numbers? Pretend you rolled a dice. What number's on the dice, Ryland?
3.
3. So you just go, I'll cut once, twice, 3 times. We'll take that card, and you just cut that many times, and you get to the card. I think
How
that
is
would be
possible, though?
what?
How is that possible?
Well, easy. You just have the card on top. You cut, so 3/4 of the deck are on top,
Oh, okay.
and then just roll the dice. What number?
4.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
6.
6. It worked with 6. It worked with anything. Look, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because you're just adjusting the amount of.
29.
Oh, behave.
52.
I just think that something like that would be a little bit better. I also think that the change from one dice into the other, I think, is a bit anticlimactic. Give me the dice for a minute. I think that obviously you get 2 dice and you're changing one for the other. And the misdirection that they're using to change the dice is really good. And the other dice. The misdirection they're using to change the dice is really good. But if I was doing it, this is how I present the routine. And this is literally off the top of my head. I think this is a better way of doing it, in my opinion. And by the way, I'm going to give this a good grade because I think the props are great. I love the idea of the little dice that you open up. I think that's really magical. I think that's really, really magical. We haven't got a 2 of clubs in here anymore because you signed it, so we're going to use the 2 of spades. Doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter. I've got the 2 of spades instead.
There.
So if I was going to do this, this is what I'd do. I'd have the deck and I'd shuffle it, right? And I'd say, right, you take the cards. You're going to do the dealing yourself. And I'd have somebody else throw the dice. So they'd throw the dice and I'd say, add it up. What you got? 8. So deal 8 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And would you like to do it again? And they say yes. And you say, okay, roll both dice. What have we got now? 8 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you're going to make all the choices. Would you like to? One more time? Okay, so let's do it one last time. Wow, 12. So deal 12 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then what we'll do is, because there's 2 dice, what I want you to do is put 1 dice there and 1 dice there. Very good. And pick up the deck. And what I want you to do is deal into 2 piles. 1 pile there, 1 pile there.
1, 2, 3.
There you go. And you keep dialing. Now think about this. The amount of cards that you're dealing through right now is completely random and dictated purely by you, because you're the person who decided everything. You decided what numbers came up on the dice. You decided to carry on rolling. You decided to roll a 3rd time. You did all of this. No way anybody could have predicted anything. But look, we've got the 7 of hearts and the 2 of spades. And then when they open up the dice, they match.
Can I have the dice?
Yeah, well, there's no point because people have seen that the dice open up. The point I'm trying to make is I think that this project could have been a lot better if they'd given some thought into what we have here. Because what we have here is a really cool prop. We have 2 little dice, and I think there's a lot of opportunities to do magic with them. As it happens, all we have is kind of a really naff force and a kind of an anticlimactic moment where you open the dice and it changes. And I think there's a lot more you can actually do with these, at least in my opinion. I still think it's really good, but I think that the best trick that you can do with these little things are going to be, something that you're going to think through when you get the trick.
Yeah.
I do think that throwing these in your pocket takes up no space. You're probably going to have a deck of cards with you anyway, and it's a nice thing to carry around with you. And I do love that revelation when you open it up and you've got a card in there. But I just think that they could do more.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, with that being said, I'm going to give this 89%. I like it. 89%. I do like it. I just think it's not been fleshed out as much as it could be.
So you're still going to do it?
Yeah, I think I'd probably give it a go if you can teach me how to open up dice. I'll give it 89%. What about you?
Yeah.
89% for you as well? 89% from me and Ryland. Let's move on. So next up we have 4 Treasures by Harapan Ung, and 4 Treasures is a book that you can only get directly from Harapan as far as I'm aware. First of all, this book is incredibly well illustrated. Look at those pictures. They are simply beautiful. And what it is, basically, it's a collection of 4 tricks, 4 of Harapan's favourite tricks, and each one of these tricks have use a gaffed card. So it's not a gaffed deck, but it's a gaffed card that you put into a deck in order to achieve a miracle. And he goes through 4 tricks, each one using a different gaffed card. The nice thing is the cards are included in the book. So when you open up the book, you've got the gaffed card, you've got all of the routines in here. Harapan's, anybody who's aware of his work will tell you, it's really well written. Everything is explained very, very clearly. And all 4 of the routines are very easy to do. One of them is almost self-working. What Harapan's done is he spent a lot of time and effort focusing on the routining and on the use of the gaff. So by using the gaff, it actually makes the routine seem a little bit cleaner. Does that make sense? Yeah. Really fun book to read. Really, really fun book to read. And there's no bad routines in here. All 4 of the routines are really, really good. Now I'm going to perform one of them for you. I'm going to perform my favourite. My favourite is Centre of Attention. And it's a really cool 4-ace trick. Now you can take the aces out of the deck if you want to, or you can actually do this as a packet trick. Let me perform Centre of Attention.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you something with 4 cards. Okay?
Yeah.
Now these are actually the 4 aces.
Yay.
Clubs, hearts, spades, and diamonds.
Okay.
Now one of these cards is very, what shall I say? One of these cards is very egotistical. Has a bigger ego than any other cards in the deck. Can you guess which one it is?
Ace of Spades.
Correct. I mean, it's for some reason the Ace of Spades thinks it's the most important card in the pack.
Is it?
Well, I don't know if it is or not, but I'll show you some of the things it does. Like if I put the Ace of Spades face up in between the other aces, it doesn't like to be just like buried in between the other aces. So what will happen is you wait a second and it'll turn face up because it wants to be like standing out from all the other aces. I'll do that again for you. Look, if I just take that ace and you can see the ace. Let me show you. You can see the ace going right there into the middle. Is that fair?
Yeah.
I just wait a second and the ace will always stand out. I mean, it works every single time. That ace is just a giant ego running out of control. And when you try to put him away, oh, forget about it. So, for example, if I took the Ace of Spades and put it underneath the table, yeah?
Yeah.
Doesn't like to be underneath the table. Do you know why?
Why?
Because it's out the way. So you know what it does?
What?
It'll magically switch itself with the other 3 aces. I mean, this Ace of Spades is out of control. And you can't see this because it's on the close-up cam. He hasn't watched this yet. I'm gonna talk him through it before we do the actual talking part of the review show.
I know. I think I know how it works.
His eyes just popped out of his head. You loved that last bit, didn't you? It's amazing. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, so since the performance, I've explained to Ryland how it's done. It's really clever, isn't it? I love that moment where the ace goes under the table.
I already know how it's done.
You did guess, yes, well done. But isn't that a lovely moment where the ace goes under the table and they kick back? I love that. I absolutely love that. Very, very commercial. Really, really good. The next one, hand to pocket, is a really cool way of having a card vanish off the spectator's hand. Now, you can have it go in a pocket or you can have it go anywhere. You can even have it reverse in the deck, which is something I'm thinking of doing with it. But the way that Harapan actually explains it is that a card vanishes into the pocket. Now, what you have here is the clever use of a gaffed card that makes the vanish of the card on the spectator's hand like completely hands off. Yeah. So you put a card, you get them to hold the hand out, you put a card onto their hand, they put the deck on top, and when they turn the deck over, the card's gone. It's really clever thinking. Indicated transposition is a way of using a very common gaffed card that's not normally used outside of a particular routine to do a transposition. So you have 2 people pick cards, one person's holding onto one card, one person's holding onto the other, they're lost in the pack. You then spread through the deck very cleanly. One card's turned over, reversed in the deck. You put that down to one side. You find the other person's card, and there's an immediate kickback, which is really good. And then the final routine is punchback, which is Harapan's take on Ryan Swiggert's kickback. But he's completely changed the methodology and he's completely changed the moment that it happens. He's kind of doing it with one selection. It's a very interesting take on it. I love kickback. I've got various versions of the kickback myself. And the way he's actually done this, and he's incorporated a Mexican turnover, he's done it in a very clever way. I really like this. You haven't read this. You've seen 2 of the routines. Yeah. But you haven't seen the other 2. I know you said that you really liked the ace trick, didn't you? Yeah. So my question is, what do you think of this? I love this book. I love the fact that it's so well made. I'm giving this 100%.
Same.
Really?
Yeah, I was just about to say.
I love Harapan's stuff. I really do. And there's nothing to disappoint in here. This is just amazing. I love this. It's 100%. You can get it directly from Harapan's website. And the easiest way to find that is by going onto his link tree in his Instagram and clicking on the link tree, and you can get right there. I ordered it and it came very, very quickly, even though we're in completely different countries. So there you go. It's the 4 Treasures by Harapan. It's highly recommended. Okay, so next up we have Bond Lee. We looked at Bond Lee recently, didn't we? With the pills.
Yeah.
The pills.
Yeah.
What we have.
That's for Visha.
Yeah. What we have here is Waken by Bond Lee and MS Magic, and Waken is basically Bond Lee's version of the Haunted deck.
Yeah.
It's Bond Lee's version of the Haunted deck. So basically, what happens is you put a deck of cards on the table. You have a card lost in the deck. You wave your hand over, and the card comes out. It's that clean. You can do it with 4 cards. You can do it with a cover over the top. Normally with the Haunted deck, if anybody knows the Haunted deck, especially versions, most versions of the Haunted deck, you have a piece of wire going from the deck into your pocket, and that's what makes the trick work. This is completely self-contained and remote controlled, so there's no wire coming out the deck or anything like that. There's nothing attaching this to the person. Literally, you put the card into the deck and you can make it move. You can have 1 card come out, you can have 2 cards come out, you can have 3 cards come out. You can do it like a rising card. Like I said, Bond League does it with a big glass dome over the top if you want to. Can you do a quick performance of it?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ryland's going to do a quick performance so you can see exactly what it looks like, and then we'll talk about what we think.
Okay, so here I have a pack of cards today.
Okay. 2 card tricks today, Ryan, for you.
Yeah, I know. Both mine. I'm going to give them a shuffle.
Okay. Were you planning on doing the worst shuffle I've ever seen in the world?
The worst shuffle you've ever seen. The worst shuffle is this.
No,
Dun, dun.
no. Why don't you try and do the best shuffle you've ever seen?
I can't do that. I can't do a perfect
I
shuffle.
thought you were into cardistry. Okay, there you go.
That was good.
That was better. Yeah.
Better. Okay.
Go for it.
Okay. Now, so what I want you to do is I'm going to look away and we're going to make this easy for you. I just want you to pick a card.
Okay.
I'm going to go easy.
I'm going to go for that one. I'm going to go for that one. Yeah. Hang on. I have my card. Yep.
Got it?
Yep.
Okay, now I don't know what that card is.
No idea.
I'm just going to get that Sharpie there.
Okay.
And what I want you to do is I want you to sign that card.
Sign it.
Yes, just sign it.
Are you okay to see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm fine to see it.
Okay, yeah. Done.
Now I'm going to take that card and put that card somewhere in the middle.
Okay, yeah.
We'll go there.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to do some magic.
Okay.
Watch this.
What?
There's 1 card here, and that card is your signed card.
Wow. Absolutely awesome. So, Ryland, tell me, what do you think of it? Is it practical? This is the big question. It's not cheap. It's like 100 quid.
No.
Is this practical for close-up?
Yeah.
Is it really? Do you think it is? Is
If it was really loud.
I don't think that the sound issue is an issue. I know your mom said, "Oh, that sounds loud," but we're standing or sitting in a studio
Oh yeah.
with no in a gig with ambient
Echo.
noise. Yeah, in a gig with ambient noise, it wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
I just think that if you're trying to do this close up, first of all, the rising card could be done close up.
Yeah.
But I've got a million ways of doing rising cards. I don't need to carry around a £100 remote controlled deck in order to do it. And the other thing is the deck is made so only the top like 4 or 5 cards spread. So, or maybe a bit more than that. Only the top 10.
Yeah, but they can't even really spread because of that.
No, you can't spread because of how it works. So you have to do a deck switch.
You can do the top 4 cards like that, but it's only 4 cards.
So you have to do a deck switch.
Yeah.
So you have to do a deck switch. So if I was going to use this in a club, well, I wouldn't. There's a million ways that I could do a rising card without needing to carry 2 decks of cards around, one of which I'm going to switch in. I'm going to have to carry a remote control around with me. I wouldn't do this in a close-up environment at all. And the Haunted deck, if I just know if I was doing this in most close-up gigs and I put it down on the table and started moving, somebody would want to grab and pick it up. I just know they would. But where this really excels, and this comes into its own, in my opinion, is a parlour or a stage show. So you have like a parlour show and you have an audience in front of you, or you have a cabaret show, or something like that.
If you're lecturing it, you could just, the screen, have the screen on it and it just go.
Yeah. Yeah, but I've got my own stuff. I can't lecture on Bond Lee's stuff on my own lecture.
Bond Lee would do it.
Yes, Bond Lee would do it at the lecture. The point is, I think at a parlour show or a small cabaret show, I think this would be amazing. I think having some music over the background, setting it all up, putting the dome over the top of it, having it move inside. I just think that would make such a big impact on an audience. And I think that the Haunted deck, especially if you had like 3 or 4 people pick cards and you had them sign the cards, which is obviously all the time you need to do the deck switch, and then you put them back in and then they just come out, I think that would look amazing. I think it would be really good. And I think doing it in a parlour show, the deck switch would be easy because you'd have a case there. So I think this is, look, it's not cheap. It's £100. Does it work? Yes. Is the tutorial good? Yes. Are there live performances? Yes. Do they cover what to do if it breaks or it goes wrong? Yes. Do I think it'll break? Well, I don't think so, but you never know, but they have covered that. Does it look really good when you do it? Yes. Is it reliable? Yes. Does it work every single time? Yes. We've tested it over and over again. Yeah. You've done it on your Instagram. Yeah. However, is it easy to charge? Yes. Does it look like a deck of cards? Yeah. It's all good, but I just don't think, if you're a close-up worker, there's better ways to do this that are more practical. Yeah. That don't cost £100. Look at Uprising by Richard Sanders if you want a no-gaff version. Look at the Henry Evans Rising card. Look at the original Haunted pack by Eugene Berger. Look at Chill by Tom Wright. There's a million different ways that you can do this without needing a full gimmick deck. However, if you're doing a parlour show and you want to make a real feature of putting a dome over this, and really, I think you can make this a feature of your parlour show, and I think this is something that everybody would remember. But it depends on whether you think £100 is too much to spend. I don't think you would do this. I know you've done it on your Instagram. You don't do many parlour shows. You do more stage shows and close-up. I don't think you'd do this, but you tell me.
I don't think I'd do it either.
No, I do a lot more parlour shows. I do think I'm going to do this. I think this is really good. I'm going to give it 95%. What are you giving it? You don't do it? You're not going to do it? 79%. You like it?
Yeah.
But you're not going to do it. If you're looking for a really good product, but you did do it on Instagram. So. Yeah. But yeah, 79% from him, 95% from me. Let's move on. Yeah. So the final trick we have is by a Neo Magic Vinny Sagoo. We've looked at a lot of Vinny stuff recently. Most recently, the coin trick, the card, three coin trick with the card, which was really good. We really like this. This is Killer Poker, just like the 3-coin trick. It's got a little booklet there, and video online explanation as well. Very well produced, as is all of Vinny's stuff. Very well priced, as is all of Vinny's stuff. Yes. And it makes the very bold claim of perhaps one of the best storytelling packet tricks ever created. Now, I'm going to do a performance of this. Before I do a performance, I want to tell you that when I learned the original routine, I've changed it slightly from the original routine. So the original routine, when the 5s appear, you'll see the moment in a bit where the 5s appear. Vinny just kind of pulls them out the packet, which makes the trick pretty much self-working other than the Elmsley count at the beginning. I'm using a side steal because I thought when I was playing around with it and practicing this, I just thought the side steal made it a bit more interesting and a bit more magical, and it looked like more stuff was happening. So when you see this, it's the side steal's not taught, but obviously you could do it with a side steal if you wanted to. But here's a performance of Killer Poker. Right, I'm going to tell you a story about when I met the most annoying magician in the world.
That's me.
No, it's not you.
No.
But you're close. No, I met the most annoying magician in the world, and he said yes. He said, "Do you want to play some cards?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's play some cards." He's like, "Okay, let's play cards." And we decided to play poker. And obviously, that in poker you have 5 cards in the hand, don't you? You have 5 cards in your hand in poker. He dealt me 5 cards, but he dealt himself 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I said to him, you can't have 4 cards in a game of poker. It's 5, it's 5, it's 5. And you know what he did? He just made a 5 appear. I'm like, are you trying to annoy me on purpose? I said, you're supposed to have 5 cards. How many cards have you got? And he went, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm like, how can you have 4 cards? You just had 4 cards and you made a 5 appear. You can't have 4 cards. You're so annoying. And I said, it's 5. It's 5. You need a 5. And he did that. And he made another 5. I'm like, you're winding me up on purpose now. How many cards have you got? And he went 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm like, stop being annoying. Stop being annoying. You can't have 4 cards. You need to have 5 cards. You need to have 5 cards. And he went, there you go. And he snapped his fingers. And now he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. I'm like, brilliant. So now we've got 5 cards. Now we can begin the trick. And he went, no, I've only got 3. I'm like, why have you only got 3? How have you only got 3? Take those 2 5s and put them in there. Now you've got 5 cards. And anyway, I said I got so annoyed. You know what I said to him? What? I said, you don't know how many cards you're supposed to have. You've got cards coming out of everywhere. You've got 5s appearing. You've got cards appearing and disappearing. I bet you can't even spell poker. He said, not only can I spell poker, I can spell poker backwards. I said, no, you can't. And he said, yes, I can. Look, poker backwards. That would be R-E-K-O-P. That's poker. Any questions? Okay, so what do you think of that, Ryan?
Yeah, I really like it.
You really like it, don't you? I'm kind of in 2 minds. I do like the premise behind it. I like the storyline. I like the idea. You would do it, would you?
Yeah.
I do like the storyline. I really do like the storyline. My problem with it is...
Most annoying man ever.
Most annoying magician ever, yeah.
You need a 5. I will make a 5. Bam!
And maybe, and that's maybe one of the reasons why I think you love it for the story, don't you? You love it because of how funny it is. You're genuinely laughing your ass off when I showed you this.
You can't even spell poker backwards. I can't just spell poker backwards. No, you can't even spell poker. I can't just spell poker, but I can also spell it backwards. Look. R-E-O...
K.
No, K-O-P.
Yeah, I do love the story. It's very funny. And I think this would get a good reaction at gigs. I've not tried it at gigs. I do think it would get a good reaction. I just wish that there was some way of showing the cards at the beginning as being normal on the face.
If you're going to do it. Are you going to do it? What percent?
Yeah, I think I'd give it a go. I want to see how it works for real people. I think that this could...
So you're going to do it?
This could be a crowd pleaser. I think it's good. It's very commercial, very easy to do. No special table service required, instant reset, all of that fun stuff.
Yeah.
It's good. I just wish that I could show the cards as normal at the beginning. But other than that, I do like it. I think that Vinny's onto a bit of a winner here.
Yeah.
I do like the poker revelation at the end. I think it's going to become very... it's going to take them by surprise.
I'm going to give this 99%.
You can give it 99%. I don't like it that much. I'm going to give it 89%. It's very good.
Again, 2 things, you've put 89%.
I'm going to give it 89%. It's really good. I don't love it as much as you, but I'm happy to try it out. And it might go up, that percentage might go up when I see what the reactions are like in the real world.
Yeah. And that's another review show in the back. That's another review show in the back. And that's another review show in the back.
It is another review show in the back. Guys, thank you once again for joining us right here on Magic TV on the Craig and Ryland Review Show. You're getting annoying now. On the Craig and Ryland Review Show. Make sure that you follow us on Instagram, on YouTube and all that fun stuff. If you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to his channel. He's on almost 1,000 subscribers. And you're on almost 7,000 followers on Instagram, man. You're killing it. So make sure that you follow him, Ryland the Kid.
I've got 6.5.
Yeah, you're almost 7. Follow Ryland the Kid Magician on Instagram, Ryland the Kid Magician on YouTube. Check all of his stuff out on his Linktree. And we will be back again next Wednesday with another Craig and Ryland Review Show. But once again, thanks very much for joining us. I'm Craig.
I'm Ryland.
We'll see you again. Take care. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.